So the first thing is to do a funding needs assessment. A funding needs assessment is just to assess the funding that you need, right? So the first thing, this is how you do a funding needs assessment. First of all, it's how much funding are you looking for? How much money? There are a lot of people that say we need funding for our business, we need investment, blah, 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 blah. But if you just point at them, how much? They're not going to give you a figure. They're not going to give, people are looking for funding, but they won't give you a figure of how much funding they need. Because you know what? Not every person is like, not everyone who says, my Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, right? So not every person who says they need funding really need funding. So I'm giving you a challenge, even right now. How much funding do you need right now? Answer. Some of you, it's tricky, right? So when you do your funding needs assessment, the first question is, how much funding do you need, right? Say you need 100,000 rands, right? 100,000 rands, okay, fine. What for? What do you need this 100,000 rands for? So this is where you do a budget breakdown. 100,000 rand, how are you going to use 50K? 50K for what? To buy this machine. 20K for that. 1,000 rand for that. So you need to get it all. Break down how you're going to use that money. And this is where it gets tricky. Remember the last time I said some of you, the reasons why you didn't get funded is because you were unrealistic in your budget breakdown. You just said for rental. You just said office furniture. You just said salaries and things like that. Things about the assets, the key things. What are the key things that you need for your business? If you're a startup, what do you need? You need a computer, a laptop, right? You need Wi-Fi. You need, what is it that you need? And this depends on the industrial sector that you're in. For example, I'm in the consulting space. What do I need? Right now, I will say I need a computer. Not that I need it right now. I'm just saying if I'm starting out. Because I actually started my business with only a laptop. I just bought a laptop and a printer. So you need a laptop, right? Obviously a printer. And then right now, because I'm doing the video thing, I will need like some ring lights and things like that. And the mics so that I can record the videos and all that. Okay, some branding, the website, a business profile. If I can't do it, okay, fine. If it was not part of my business scope, I will say I need a business profile, I'll go consult, I'll need a logo, the graphic design, the brand identity part of stuff. Okay, I will need a banner, things like that. Those are the key things. When we talk about the key things, we're talking about things that you use in your business, that you're going to need is like the tools for your business, to do your business, to do the work, to carry out the work. And then we're talking about the activation tools, the brand activation tools. What you need to activate your brand. You're in your business. You need to be known, right? So if you're going to need posters, it's posters. If you need the banners, so it's about around the branding, the marketing. Yes, you know what is happening? Instead of saying I need rental or salary for 12 months, say I need 12 months to do your digital marketing, the digital marketing budget. Say you need it for what do you call the billboard advertisement. You need it for your radio or TV or whatever it is. Even if it's 100,000 rands for marketing, they're going to give it to you. Because depending on the type of business that you're in, I'm not saying go and say you need money for 100,000 rands for marketing. It depends on your industry. It depends on the size of your business. You understand? So people forget that what's on the finances, the numbers needs to also match the strategies and the tactical plans that are in the business plan. So there are people, what you write on the numbers must be informed by your plans in there. You can't just talk about a billboard advertising or radio ads and things like that, but when you go to your marketing plan, there's nothing about that. You understand what is happening here? So also your industry, your sector, it informs the size of the budget that you need. The type of advertisement or marketing that you're gonna need. You understand? So if it's a clothing brand, you're launching a new clothing brand or a clothing line rather, and there will be an opening. You're gonna have a physical store or even an online store. There's gonna be some sort of a launch, right? So you could include that. You understand what is happening? So the budget should focus mainly on the tools that you need to do your business, the tools that will activate your brand. So it's about brand activation. That's for a startup, right? And then the rest is then working capital. Working capital is the cash flow, and you cannot be asking for 100,000 rands cash flow. You know why? Because you're gonna look at the sector. What you're still starting. You're in this geographic area. This is your market size. It has to merge. Do you already have customer traction, or are you still starting out? So those factors, they really matter. You need to think about that. You can't just write any number. 55,000 rand. What for? What is that 5 rand going to? Like, what is happening? So each and every cent need to be accounted for. We are lucky. We are lucky because before, we used to have this pitch where you had to account for, and this works mainly in the venture capital space, where it's an investor, and they ask you about each and every cent, and you need to know all the answers. Nowadays, they do online applications. They just do it on, look at their business plan. They analyze if it makes sense and things like that, and but sometimes they actually they can give you fund without even seeing you. So some of you, you're lucky because some of you don't even know what's in the business plan, but you're submitting it. And some of you even got to get the funding, but you've never even went through the business plan because the business plan was done by a consultant. You understand what is happening? So where was I? So what for? The budget breakdown. So the funding, when you do the budget breakdown, when you say you need 50,000 rands, focus. This is, and focus, me saying focus to you, I'm not saying lie. I'm saying before you even get to 50,000 rands, it has to start with, what do I need? What does my business need? You need a laptop. You need whatever. You go on and check the market price, the average price of a laptop. You can even go get a quote, and that's when you get that total funding. You know why? Because funders are going to look for those quotations from the shops, right? So you just said 55,000 rands from your head, and then they're going to ask for a quotation. You understand what is happening? So ask yourself question, what does my business need? Focus on the tools that you will need to carry out the work, for the type of business that you're in. If you're a consultant, what is it important for a consultant to have? What are the tools? What is the equipment that is required, right? There are people who got funding for company cars, because the car is important in their company, right? So what is important to carry out the tasks? Okay, for activation, for the marketing of the business, what do you need, right? So the rest is just unnecessary, and is just gonna sabotage your funding application, and then gets a little bit of working capital, right? So that actually applies for mainly the startups, and then also for the growth, for those that are looking for growth finance. At times, it's just obvious. You need a new machine, right? You want to open another shop, right? You need funding for that. You want to buy another car, another truck. You need funding for more stock. You understand? So the money that you're looking for is for that specific thing that you're looking for, right? So for those that are looking for growth finance or working capital, it's just as that specific. You want to grow your business. What does that look like for you? It looks like buying a new equipment, opening a new store, hiring more people, things like that. So the money that you're looking for is specifically for that particular thing. So yes, underfunding needs assessment. How much, what for, how urgent. I said it that you don't just wake up and say, I need funding, because you're going to be late, you're going to waste money, or you're just going to put us under pressure. So how urgent do you need this money? So you're saying you need 50,000 rands. Do you really is it like urgent, you need it now, or can you take time? You know why I'm talking about taking time? There are other funding institutions that do not fund. Okay, these are two reasons. There are other funding institutions that do not fund startup businesses, right? So one of the requirements is that you have to be in existence for 12 months, right? And if you are now starting out, and then you see that these are the people that can actually give you money within 24 hours, as long as you've been in business for 12 months, and your money, the money that you've made in your business has been around, is it 24 or 40K monthly, right? So that those are just the two requirements. They just want to see that. So instead of just getting up and going to look for funding, how about you pause and say, these people can give me 500,000 rands as long as I've been in business for 12 months and I have like a monthly income or turnover of 40,000 rands. So it's just a question of, okay, I can give myself 2022, like the whole of 2022, to just focus on trading, being in business. Now the question would be, how can I make 40K monthly in my business? You understand? And now I know me focusing on this one will just take me out of topic, because there actually words. Some of you don't really need funding. Some of you, what you need is to secure a contract. Without funding, without the equipment, what you need is a comprehensive proposal where you go and get a contract. You go and pitch, you get a contract for 3 years, and then after you get it, some institutions, they even have finance department where they can actually give you funding. It's a loan where you go pitch. Say, for example, it's a mine and you want to introduce stuff transport to them or the trucks, right? You go the pitch for that. You have the solution for them, and you're still new, purely new. You just saw a market opportunity. You go into them and then you pitch, and then they award you the contract. And then the funding, there are two options. Now, because you've been awarded a contract, what happens is that now you can use the contract and go to any funding institution that give contract financing, right? To fund you to buy, even if it's a truck, they can give you money for that trucks to buy those trucks, because you already have this 3-year contract to provide logistics services in that mining company. Or even the same mining company, some companies, they actually have the finance department where they give their contractors funding, a business loan. You understand what is happening? So you need to know that sometimes you don't necessarily need funding from these people from out there. You just need to close a deal. It's the same way with tenders. We saw it happening last year, this year. People who are not even in the healthcare industry or the medical equipment space, they've been offering sanitizers and all that. They don't even have those things in stock. What you do, you just bid, you get a tender, you go source somewhere, and then you supply. You understand what is happening? You register a company today, you apply for a tender, you get it. So the same tender, we know that when you talk about tender, people think about government, but the same contract you get from Anglo-American, ETSA, or whatever institution or company it is, that's a tender. It's just that we just associate tender with corruption, with government, with all this stuff. But the same contract you acquire from Pick n Pay to supply whatever, the same contract you acquire from, that's a tender. That's a tender. But you guys, when you think about tender, and most of you guys like tenders, you really like tender. Like you get into business specifically for tender, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that you're thinking it in a bad way, because you don't want to work. You just want to register a company, and then you're like, how do I get tenders? You just want to go to the website, you go bid to the municipality, and then you're looking for that. It's another way of making money. But really, if you want to build a sustainable business, tendering is good, as long as you started that company to say, okay, this is what is needed, this is what is needed. Okay, I'm going to supply them with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can be manufacturing whatever it is you're manufacturing, or growing your veggies, or whatever it is. You're a farming business, and you get a tender to supply those veggies in a retail space or whatever. You understand what is happening, or an agro process.